From Washington, this is VOA News. The United Nations welcomes humanitarian access to Homs, Syria, and the first competition gets underway at the Sochi Olympics. I'm David Byrd reporting from Washington. The United Nations says it welcomes reports the Syrian government and opposition have agreed to allow civilians to leave the old city of Homs. As VOA's Margaret Besheer reports, the area has been cut off from humanitarian aid for more than a year.
Syria's state-run news agency says the deal covers innocent civilians, including women, children, the elderly, and the injured. The agreement was also reported to include a plan to provide humanitarian assistance to civilians in the old city. UN spokesman Farhan Haq told reporters that a deal was necessary among the parties, which includes agreements with humanitarian workers.
Right now, we welcome the news that this agreement has been reached. What we're trying to do is see whether it can be implemented on the ground.
The UN Security Council also is considering a possible resolution demanding better humanitarian access. Margaret Besheer, VOA News, the United Nations.
For more on this story, please visit our website, www.voanews.com. Negotiations between the Pakistani government and the Taliban have been held in Islamabad. Thursday's meeting lasted nearly 3 hours and was aimed at charting a roadmap for future peace talks to end the militants' bloody insurgency. The Pakistan-Taliban has been battling to topple the country's government and establish strict Islamic rule since 2007. The first competition of the Sochi Olympic Winter Games was held Thursday at the Black Sea Resort. As VOA's Park Brewer reports, team figure skating kicked off one day before Friday's opening ceremonies.
The first of the 3 days of action took place Thursday night at the Iceberg Skating Palace in Sochi's Olympic Park by the Black Sea. Men's singles began the program, and in the first group was home favorite Yevgeny Plushenko. Plushenko's score was good enough for second place, earning Russia 9 points. Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan was judged best, giving his nation 10 points, and Canadian Patrick Chan was third for 8 points. The pairs also skated Thursday, finishing up about an hour before midnight. The Russians took the top spot, followed by Canada and China. Team figure skating resumes Saturday with the women and ice dancing short programs and the pairs free skate. Park Brewer, VOA News at the Sochi Olympics.
Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon took part in the Olympic torch relay Thursday. He condemned anti-gay discrimination and called on warring parties worldwide to observe an Olympic truce. Mr. Ban indirectly referenced a new Russian law that bans the spread of gay propaganda among minors, a law that critics can broadly be interpreted to crack down on support of gay rights in general. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach passed the torch to Mr. Ban on the Sochi River. Bach said he was glad to send an Olympic message of peace and understanding. Security remains tight at the Games, which officially get underway with Friday's opening ceremonies. The U.S. State Department is firing back at Russia for its role in the alleged leak of an apparently bugged telephone conversation between two senior American diplomats. In the conversation, the two diplomats are said to make disparaging comments about the European Union. A recording has been posted to YouTube of voices resembling those of Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland and U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Jeffrey Pyatt. The people on the alleged call discuss international efforts to resolve Ukraine's ongoing political crisis. At one point, the voice resembling Nuland uses vulgar language to suggest the European Union's position should be ignored. President Barack Obama says that freedom of religion matters to U.S. national security. He said promoting religious freedom abroad is a key part of the country's foreign policy. Mr. Obama spoke Thursday at the annual National Prayer Breakfast in Washington.
The right of every person to practice their faith how they choose, to change their faith if they choose, or to practice no faith at all, and to do this free from persecution and fear.
Mr. Obama asked the audience to pray for those held captive for their religious beliefs, including Kenneth Bai, who's being held in North Korea, and Saeed Abedini, who's being held in Iran. For more on these stories, you can always log on to our website, www.voanews.com. I'm David Byrd reporting from Washington.